Hi, my name is Naren Aryal. I am CEO and publisher of Mascot Books, and my company recently experienced a cybersecurity threat that risked exposure to some of our most valuable clients. This was a difficult situation that can really happen to any company, and I just wanted to share our important lessons that we learned while managing this incident with the help of Melissa Agnes, of course.
Not of course. Naren, I'm so appreciative that you're taking the time to do this because it really is a situation that can happen to any company. You don't have to be a massive organization, and yet it threatened to have impact on Mascot. It threatened to have impact on your clients and those relationships. So thank you for taking the time to share your experience and your lessons learned and all of that with us.
Absolutely. Happy to be here.
So I guess tell us what happened.
Sure. So it was a Friday afternoon and we're getting ready for the weekend. And we hear from one of our clients asking some questions about an invoice and a request for payment, wire transfer that they got from somebody within our company. And that email went to our bookkeeper, and our bookkeeper looked into it and thought there was something strange about it because this individual had already paid the invoice. And so we looked into it. And what had happened is somebody using our email had sent this gentleman another invoice and asking him to send wire money to an account that wasn't ours. And so essentially, we'd been hacked.
You'd been hacked, and your clients were frauding your clients.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. And so fortunately, this client, knew something was up and contacted us. And that's when we knew that we had an issue to deal with.
Absolutely. So what did you do?
Well, so the first thing we did, and keep in mind, this is Friday at like 4:30 p.m. The first thing we did is we decided to pick up the phone and call all similarly situated clients that might have been exposed to this threat. And so we called them and we either talked to them, we left a message, and we sent them an email. And so that was the first thing that we did. And then after that, we called our IT folks and we asked them to look into the situation. Because again, I'm not technical and our bookkeeping crew is not technical, but we've got advisors that are. And we got to the bottom after a couple of days, over the weekend actually, we got to the bottom of exactly what had happened. And Monday morning, we were ready to get into action in terms of exactly how we respond to this threat.
Okay. And so so what did that look like? Monday morning, you're ready to get into action. Yeah. What were the actions?
So at that point, it was clear that I needed to contact a broader number of clients, that we just had to make sure that anybody with even a remote chance of being subject to this fraud was contacted. And so we put together an email list of several hundred emails, and I started crafting an email to let my clients know exactly what had happened, that we had taken care of the security risk from an IT perspective. And after I put some notes together, I contacted you, and knowing that you're an expert in this field, you walked me through some best practices.
Yeah. So when it comes to issue and crisis management, there are two components that lead to successful crisis management. First are the actions that you need to take in order to respond to the incident, manage the incident, eradicate the threat, prevent it from happening again, all of these actions. And then the second is the communication that you need to communicate to your stakeholders. And both of these things need to happen simultaneously in order for a crisis or an issue to be successfully managed. So you talk about the communications. What did you do on the back end? Because I'm thinking of people who may be listening might be thinking, what do we do in this event, right?
Yeah.
So what did you do?
So specifically,
level,
we contacted our IT professionals and asked them to audit our entire system, our email system, our servers, anything that might have been a vulnerability that allowed for this group to come in unauthorized. So that's the first thing that we did. And once they came back with the report, then we went into phase two, after shoring up any breaches, we went into phase two, which was outreaching as quickly as possible to our customer base with information in terms of exactly what happened, let them know that the threat was taken care of to the best of our knowledge. And we gave them instructions in terms of what to do if they had been targeted as well. And, things like, contact me immediately, don't make any payments, just common sense things like that.
Yep. And I know you. I know you. Full disclosure for listeners and viewers, you are my incredible publisher. You are responsible for helping me achieve with that, with Crisis Ready. And in saying that, what I want to say is that I know how much you invest in the relationships with your clients. I know how much your clients mean to you, truly, truly, truly mean to you, and you truly care about them. So I can't imagine what this was doing to you over the span of 3 or 4 days, let's say 3 days, from Friday to Monday, right? Full kind of 72 hours. I can't imagine what that must have felt like for you. And can you walk us through that as a business owner and somebody who invests in and cares about the relationships that you have with all of your clients?
Yeah, it was really concerning. We've been in business 16 years. This is year 17. And the reason why we've been successful is because we do care about our clients, and it is a relationship. It's just not a relationship of author publisher. In many instances, these are my friends.
Yeah.
And so I felt terrible, mostly because of that relationship. And I didn't want anything negative to happen to my clients, on one hand, and that's probably the most important thing. And then I also felt worried about, what this would mean for this company that I've worked so hard to build with the help of an amazing team. And finally, I was mad. I was mad that somebody would do something so brazen and jeopardize everything, not just for us, but also for our clients.
Yep, absolutely. And it can be scary. So kind of looking at the actions and the communications you took from the action standpoint behind the scenes, you took by Monday morning, the threat was eradicated, everything, your systems were updated and new security measures were put in place. So you prevented this, you stopped it, right? It could
That's
not
right.
move forward.
That's right.
A lot of people, a lot of professionals, so let's take that. You're there, you've prevented anything from happening future, right? You've
Yep.
eradicated that threat. And then let's add to that, oh my goodness, I don't want to lose these relationships. I don't want to inject a thread of distrust or doubt in the Mascot name, right? And these relationships that you have with your clients. So my point in saying that is a lot of professionals and leaders within their organizations would have said, because we've done this, we don't need to do the proactive communication now. It's not going to happen to them. So what made you not kind of let that stop the communication side
Yeah.
of it?
So, what I did is I asked myself, if I was a client, would I want to know, even if there was only a 0.0001% chance that I might be impacted? And of course, the answer is yes, right? And it's the right thing to do. And so I didn't want anybody to even face that 0.001% chance of being defrauded by this group that had somehow infiltrated our system.
Was it scary?
It was very scary.
What was scary?
Well, what was scary is, again, we operate with a lot of trust with our clients. And I didn't want our clients to think that we're somehow lax in terms of, cyber threats, that we don't take these sort of things seriously, because that's just not true. It just happened. And I think, just being straightforward about that was probably the best thing to do.
Probably. It definitely was. Tell us the outcome. Tell us the impact that it had.
Sure. And so, a lot of concerns about how it would be taken. And what we learned is I received a ton of emails saying, we're unaffected, but I got to tell you, we're just very appreciative that you decided to send us this notice. And I probably got 10 or 12 emails like that. And fortunately, nothing terrible happened as a result of this breach. But, us being proactive as we turned this negative situation into something that was actually positive.
That is in alignment with, I just mentioned how much you care about your clients. This proved that when you needed to prove it, when you were put to the test, let's say. You proved that. You showed it. You proved it by your actions, and you proved it by making that extra stride with your proactive communications. And as a result, what would you, I suppose, in conclusion, like, as a result, what?
Yeah, as a result, I would say that something like this is going to happen to any company. Again, we're not a large company; we're probably a mid-sized company, and so knowing that something is likely to happen along these lines to anybody watching, it's probably a good idea to have a plan in place beforehand. And I was fortunate enough to have worked with you on your book, and I read many chapters and manuscript versions of your book. So these are concepts that were floating around in my head to begin with, and so it was natural for me to jump into action. And so I would urge others to just start thinking about what if scenarios and just be prepared.
Absolutely. And I love the fact that you're right in saying that you're not, this mega huge target. You don't have this huge target on your back, right? And yet you were targeted. And we said it at the beginning, it's a relatable situation that can translate to any organization or any company, small, medium, big, and the impact can be vast, can be impactful on the brand, the relationships, and
Perhaps
ultimately.
more so for a small or medium-sized company.
Absolutely. And so, yeah, and to viewers and listeners out there, there are a series of high risk scenarios, so most likely high impact, and this is one of them. This is an example of one of them. Scenarios that you're prone or vulnerable to, just because every business has them. And for each of those scenarios, there are a list of actions and the right communication strategy that you can be prepared for today in order to Naren's point and to the brilliance that Naren and your team you did, to kick into gear and to know what those are, to know that it's scary, but to know that you've thought through it when you weren't confronted with that high emotion, right? Or with that emotional impact, and can lead you through to becoming crisis ready. And the whole point of becoming crisis ready is exactly that. So thank you for encapsulating that, is to face or to overcome any type of negative event in a way that actually increases the trust and credibility and goodwill in your organization. And I love that you're sharing, you're increasing your vulnerability in sharing this with us. But I so appreciate it, because I hope that it resonates with other people and makes it a little bit more relatable to them, because it is.
Absolutely. Happy to share the story, and just reiterate, it can happen to anybody. And I wish everybody out there the best of luck if it does. Hopefully it doesn't, but if it does.
If it does. And where can people learn more about the brilliance that is Mascot Books?
Thank you. It's mascotbooks.com. And if you want to email me, it's Naren, Naren at mascotbooks.com.
And all of those will be linked to below this video. Naren, thank you so much for sharing.
You're very welcome.